Long time no see. Before you guys get mad at me, I took this time to bulk, to fix my diet and start working out. That's relevant to our video today. I was looking at my vision board for this year, and I noticed that the only thing that I didn't complete on my list was working out and eating right. And because I stand on business, I said, we are going to get that done this year. So forgive me for taking a break, but it was much needed. I also think for a long while, I felt a lot of repetition online with the kind of content that I was exposed to. Also, I think seeing what's happening around the world made me quite depressed. Looking at our side, there's such a huge disconnect with people. So I like to think, just like the Prophet, peace be upon him, in his lifetime, went into the cave for a certain period of time to reflect, contemplate, talk to God, and find redirection. I'm grateful I was able to do the same. But nonetheless, now that the year is ending, I thought of reflecting back on my vision board for this year. I was able to accomplish even more than what I had on my board initially. I dedicated myself, even with the doubts that I had. Can I really do this? Can I achieve this in a year? I still dedicated myself to trying every single day. And I'm telling you exactly what I did and exactly what I'm going to do and my plan for this year, inshallah. Wanting something is not simply enough. I'm going to give you practical things because unfortunately, the kind of media that I see online is very repetitive. It's like, do this and be delusional and, manifest and be positive. But it's like, right, but they're not showing the behind the scenes and what they're doing day in and day out to manifest, to create these habits. I know some of you already made your vision boards, and that's fine. I'm just going to go over what I did and what I'm going to do with what I've done. I decided to get out a piece of paper and write down everything that I have on my mind in regards to what I want this year to look like and what I want to accomplish. And I want you to think for a second, if money wasn't a problem, and if anything could change at any moment, any circumstance of yours, God could just turn it completely around. Before you write everything down, keep that in mind. Okay? This is what I wrote for this year, and I'm going to actually share it with you guys. I wrote down, I want to travel. Not sure where, but I just know I want to travel. I want to get into horse riding. I think it's a really nice hobby and skill to have on the side. I think it's always also piqued my interest. I want to do, especially near the summer. And then I wrote staying consistent with my workouts and my diet. Here I have reaching 100K. This is actually a new one. I want to start praying tahajjud and istikhara like consistently. I'm saying like strict every single day, regardless of if I have anything to specifically pray upon, maximize my du'as and my prayers and my efforts. That's something I'm honestly really looking forward to. Being more consistent with meditations, listening to Islamic lectures, learning about Islamic history, more Sufi poetry, and conversations in regards to those few topics and kind of in that niche. I would also, the past few days, I've honestly been listening to the Quran, and it's just something really calming about certain reciters. So I think it would be really cool to be able to do that myself one day. Do other things like waking up early, gut and nerve healing. That's something I've always been really interested in. For a while, I've been really interested in plastic and GMO free living and diets. That's something I'm honestly looking forward to as well. So, all of this to say, I want you to write down everything possible that you have on your mind. And if you're struggling to do this because you're thinking, well, I don't necessarily know what to want, I'll prompt you with that as well. You can think of this as 5 areas of your life: physical, spiritual, social, financial, and mental. And if you can think of anything else, then of course you can add it to that list. You're also going to want a plan, okay? For example, I wrote down horse riding, right? Now that I know what I want, I'm going to try and execute a plan. I was looking up like horse riding near me. I came across a few locations where, someone might have a farm or someone might do this as like a job where people come, they pay training for like an hour. And so what I plan on doing is reaching out to them on their website. And I want you to literally plan like you are going to take on this goal. This is where I made my vision board. Just to simplify that, because I know a lot of you already made vision boards, I went on Pinterest and then looked at everything I had written down on my paper. I found relevant pictures from one to two, each thing that I wrote down, and then I put that on Canva, made a collage, and then I printed it out. Now, I don't know if anyone else's printer has troubles, but mine requires so many test prints and so much stuff. I printed out like 3 papers initially, and they turned out to be like yellow. I was like, what is going on with these printers? Took me forever to print them, but I finally got them done. Then I also taped them up. What I also like to do is I like to have a copy of it on my phone as my wallpaper, so I'm able to see it every single day. And even though I'm not going to sit there and stare at my screen, on a subconscious level, I'm being exposed to it every single day. I also print a physical copy as well, and I found that to be so effective. Being able to plan and literally print things out and plan them and put them in front of me and be able to write on this, take notes, put notes on this, check it off, mark it off, makes it feel like I have a physical version of this in my hands. This can get manifested into the physical world. Just an interesting thought. If you haven't done that, I would urge you strongly to do that, because I think that honestly played a role in shaping my conscious in a way where I knew, like, if I have a print of this in my hand, it just feels a bit more real to have it out in front of me and to be able to touch that paper, like touch your dreams. A vision board is not just an inspo, it's a checklist. You shouldn't just look at pictures and, yeah, they look nice. No, those are checklists. No, my vision boards are checklists for me. These are things I need to get done. This is what my life should look like day in and day out. Like, I work on these because there's a lot of fear and anxiety around this in general. Like, am I going to be able to accomplish it? What if I don't get everything done? Everything that I had on my vision board this year, let's say it's like a number, okay? Let's say you want like a certain amount of followers. I've reached mine, but I'm just saying, even if you don't reach it entirely, you reach maybe 3/4 of it or 2/4 of your ultimate goal, that's still a check mark. I have a few things on my vision board like that where I might have not gotten it 100%, but everything I have on my vision board, I have engaged with every single one of them, whether it be entirely or halfway. The point is that you're working towards it every single day. For example, I, for this year, have Hajj on my vision board. I not only don't know if I'm actually going to be able to accomplish it by this year because Hajj season is in June. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go by June. But what I do know is I am taking on the financial responsibility and the costs for this trip. That's one thing I have made a goal for myself, and I'm doing out of my complete will. So if I spend this year saving up for that trip, that to me is still a check mark, because something can always ultimately occur where you just not end up having that thing, but you still worked for it. So when it does happen sometime again in the future, when you do get the opportunity sometime in the future again, this time you're prepared. And that's honestly something I'm really excited for, because I do plan on going solo. It's going to be a really nice, a form of spiritual awakening or a spiritual ritual, which honestly I'm really excited for. And I promise when that time comes, I will post about it. Now we have to take action. I made a schedule on Notion, and you can do this anywhere else on Calendar. I made a weekly schedule on Notion, and I kind of mapped out how to incorporate each of these things into my day, from the start of the day at a certain hour to the end. So, for example, in the mornings, I would get all my spiritual goals done. In the afternoon, all my work goals done. At the end of the day, I would get my educational goals done. So you not only have an idea, but you have a plan to execute. We are getting serious. You're probably thinking, okay, girl, what do I do now? What's your routine? Do you meditate on these? Do you visualize these? Like, what does your manifestation routine look like? So, what I did at the beginning of the year with my vision board was I had my vision board up in my closet, and I would basically open the lights to my closet. I would put a chair in there, close the doors, right? So like the vision board was like on the inside of my doors. And I would literally sit, like, this wasn't even, when I tell you, this wasn't even like me intentionally trying to manifest. It just genuinely inspired me, and I thought, I like looking at these pictures. because I like to see myself in those pictures, being able to be in that situation, that scenario. So I would put on headphones, I would listen to something. I'm not saying listen to music, but you can listen to any audio just to change my mood, change my frequency a little. Okay, the next 10 to 20 minutes to just looking at these photos. I would just kind of skim over my vision board and look at everything that I have on there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm able to meditate with my eyes open. Okay, if I close my eyes, all I see is pitch black. So, for those of you who actually can't visualize, I bet you can visualize with your eyes open, because I do. If I tell you to imagine a red car, you can see it right now, and your eyes aren't even closed. Again, I would kind of look at these pictures and just let my mind kind of wander over them. Say it was eating healthier, I would see myself buying these products, eating these meals, cooking them up. So the key takeaway from this is you don't want to force yourself, right? Or you don't want to feel like you have to sit down and just stare, feel something. Or even when you look at these things and you feel doubt, because trust me, I did. I would just hope, I would hope and I would pray, God, you're capable of manifesting this into my life. You're capable of making this my reality. I'm going to put the amount of doubt I have upon you. Guys, the lights literally cut out, and so I had to adjust my camera. I never tried to force it onto me. The point is that you want to feel certain emotions to manifest them. I think also after a month of looking at these pictures, I just eventually stopped because I was like, okay, I've already gotten into the habit of visualizing and also actually implementing these things. So I was like, okay, I don't need to keep doing this. Or I don't know, I just never got inspired to just keep looking at this. Because it's on my wallpaper, anyways, to a subconscious level, it's always there. Slowly but surely, I started seeing the signs, even immediately after those practices. I think like few weeks into that, I started seeing things when I was going out. If you're still thinking, Zara, I don't know if I'm just being too delusional. I don't know if I'm being realistic with my goals. I want you to think being realistic with your goals is subjective. What's realistic to you is not realistic to someone else. You're thinking, yeah, well, how do I draw the line between being delusional and having standards and hoping that manifests? Balancing, okay, reality looks a certain way. There's a chance that this might not occur, and it doesn't for most people. The question you should be asking yourself is, are your desires real and in the real world? Because I guarantee you they are. The car, the house, the partner, the health, the whatever it is that you want, someone has it. And unless you're Elon Musk and you're inventing something completely new, these things already exist. So it's not about it being real or unreal or likelihood or luck. It's about how tangible and achievable it is for you. What are you doing every single day to make this tangible? You have to be literal with the things that you want in the literal world. Someone out there has millions of dollars and you think that's unrealistic, and it is unrealistic for most people. But that person did something to get there. They weren't thinking, is this realistic? Is this unrealistic? What percentage of people are multimillionaires? They sat there, said, I want to be one, and I'm going to take the action necessary to be one. That is literally it. On the topic of working on our goals in our life and manifesting the material world, I also want to manifest towards our afterlife. While I was taking a break, I didn't completely abstain from social media, but I thought if I'm going to be on it, I might as well do something useful. So, as I was scrolling on my feed, and obviously the algorithm picks up, I was commenting and I was boosting the videos of people that need our help most at this moment. Of course, they're stating their GoFundMe's, they're saying use my audio, they're saying comment, share, and I ended up making a few friends. That was very precious to me. I was commenting on their videos, they ended up following me back. We're always focused on ourselves and our life and our plans and our visions and our goals. We have goals different than everybody else because we're ultimately seeking to make God proud, seeking to make the most out of ourselves because it ultimately serves God. At the end of every week, and this is going to motivate me to make my videos as well, I'm going to post one of these families or one of these people that need our help, and we are going to collectively donate and surprise them. Every goal that you have in your life, you are going to, I guarantee you, that good and generous energy is going to go around and come back to you. And as I said in my previous videos, and I always say this, to get, you must give. If you want God to be generous with you, you have to be generous with others. We're lucky and we have the privilege to sit here and visualize and think about and work towards our goals. But as you have a goal, those people also have goals: to feed their family, to seek shelter, to find safety. If you want to start the year off good and you want it to be successful, you have to create success. I urge you strongly now, and I will in next videos, to donate and be a part of this great time in history. We are going down in history books. These next years are going to be the most interesting, fascinating, and important. Commit to this activity and watch it change your life. I'm not just saying these for the sake of to play it like we're such good people. You will reap the reward. What goes around comes around. You want God to be generous with you? Gotta be generous. Also very excited to say, I've always been very anxious about posting content. I think I'm a true introvert at heart because I'm just a very private person. I don't like getting personal, but I think for the sake of growth and getting out of my comfort zone, that is something that I inshallah plan on doing. And I think I have really interesting stories that you guys are going to like. I'm going to inshallah build a community with all of you. So I am going to get personal and I am going to let you in on stories and my goals and things about myself. I'm going to get back on TikTok. I'm going to put my TikTok username in the comments. Inshallah, they're going to be just as useful, interesting, like I used to before. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram, especially TikTok. Take action, praise, and put your trust in God, and take care.